Hello, everyone! Hello, senoritas and senoritas. Today, we are making a video reviewing 2007 Ghost Rider. If I got that wrong, Noah will make an edit putting the real date. I just watched the movie. This was right out. I've already watched the movie before, but that was a while ago. And we're making a whole switch on this channel, talking about nerdy stuff. But today, we're reviewing our first review. Clap it up, guys. Clap it up. Today, our video is about Ghost Rider. First one with Nicolas Cage. I thought I'd make this video because Ryan Gosling got announced as the new Ghost Rider of the MCU. I think that casting is great, but that's for a different video. Anyway, let's just hop right into it. My review of it, I think it was a good movie. I wouldn't say it's the best movie outside the MCU. I think it's a good adaptation of the Ghost Rider, I will say. I understand it's not the MCU. I don't think all the MCU movies are good. Okay, there are some bums in that trilogy of phases. Okay, now let me get it right. All right, I think the Ghost Rider with Nicolas Cage was pretty good. I think there are some flaws and some benefits from the movie. I think we should just hop right into what I think. All right, I feel like in Ghost Rider, at the beginning of the movie, Johnny Blaze is obviously dating Roxanne. But I feel like it wasn't built up enough at the beginning of the movie, because we see her in the arena at the carnival, obviously, as the lady, the young lady looking at Johnny and giving him that little look. Now, I'm not really well educated in Ghost Rider, although he's really in my top 10, not gonna lie. But I feel like if you didn't know who that was, you wouldn't understand. And I think now they built it up to understand who she is, Roxanne, like her name and such. But for me, I think they didn't build the relationship on what they were trying to show in the movie. Like, we understand that they have a love for each other, but the problem is, for me, is like, where's the love? Like, yeah, they put Rox or J plus R forever, right? A middle school dating a girl would do the exact same thing. Now, I just think there wasn't enough build-up between the two before going right into Johnny signing his life away. I think they should have done that, and should have built the two together, maybe for an extra 5 minutes of screen time, maybe an extra, few minutes. They shouldn't have I feel like it was just too rushed into going right into Johnny signing his life away to prevent his dad from getting cancer or reversing cancer. Whatever. That's just my opinion. I think that's what they should have done, because later in the movie, they show them two meeting up again, and it's like they obviously had a love, and they show the strong love they have together. But it's just, I don't feel anything between the two, because there's not enough background into it. Like, there wasn't the strong connection that you'd get from Peggy and Steve, or Parker and Peter and MJ, or Peter and Gwen, or any of these other characters that have a love interest that were built up in one movie, by the way. I just think in this movie, it wasn't built up to what they think they were trying to get out of it. And that's where, the downsides are. Because I think Roxanne and Johnny in this movie, with casting, could have made a great couple if they would have built it up more in what they were trying to do. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was my first notice and wonder chart, if you guys do science. The other one was, I feel like also Johnny, they should have kept him young, because with them time jumping into the future, he's more 35, late 30s, maybe, or like 40, maybe. I wouldn't say 40, but early 30s, late 30s, mid 30s, somewhere in there. And I feel like in the comics, as I was doing my research behind Ghost Rider, because I needed to, because I'm not very well educated in Ghost Rider. In the comics, from what I read, they say that he's early 20s or mid 20s. And I feel like it's a minor setback, but I feel like it's not going to shoot you in the foot. If you don't mind the older Ghost Rider, which personally, I don't really care. I just think it would have been a lot cooler to see him younger. To be like, yo, yeah, I just think it's a minor setback on, who he is. But I also think they transitioned him into Ghost Rider too much, or not too much, too late. And it's also, now that I'm thinking as I'm reading what I wrote down, in the movie, he says, I don't want to be you. I don't want to be, to his dad, I don't want to be just a guy in a carnival riding bikes. Now, I don't know. I've not read a comic of Ghost Rider yet. So if this is wrong, let me know in the comments. He just kind of goes and does the same thing as what he was doing with his dad 10 years earlier or 20 years earlier, whatever. And I just think that's kind of odd that you just say, you know what? I'm not going to do what you do. I'm going to go run away with Roxanne. Doesn't run away with Roxanne because he finds out the devil, blah, blah, blah. Was like, can't have love interests. So he dipped, right? Looks at Roxanne at the tree and just dips. And I think that's a very, I don't know, like odd thing. I feel like if you would have put Johnny with the devil and he turns into the Ghost Rider, sees how freaky, like how monstrous he is, it would make more sense for him to look at Roxanne, look down at the bike, look at her again and ride away, realizing she might not want someone that is like me. And I think that's what they should have done. So then in the future, now if he goes back to riding, as he did, I feel like it would make more sense for him, to then do what he's doing, going to Georgia for a show, Texas for a show, blah, blah, blah. And then see her and be like, I lost that and I want that back. And I think that was a good idea, but it just didn't execute well. But that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comments how you feel about that. The other thing is, what's Johnny's obsession with jelly beans and monkeys? They never, for me, when I was watching it, I might have missed a part. They never really told you what they were doing with that plot. I don't know if he just really likes jelly beans, which can't blame him, or he just really likes monkeys, which can't blame him either. But why put that in the movie and not have any reasoning behind it? I don't understand. The first transition that Johnny experiences going to Ghost Rider, I think is pretty well done. And I also think the adaptation of Ghost Rider's chains were also really well done. I think when he was, he gets into the all screaming, face starts burning, and then turns into Ghost Rider, and then tries to attack, Blackheart. Goes and attacks Blackheart. His Ghouligan, I don't know his name. Didn't really search it, not gonna lie. If you know the name, let me know. Throws him in the chains, trying to, choke him and hang there. Then continues, he locks in, grabs a chain, uses a chain. I think that was a really good update of grabbing it, bringing in the chain, if that makes sense. I think that's really good on how they did it, in my opinion. And yeah, so there's that. The one thing I noticed is the trash talk. Oh my goodness, man. The trash talk did not age. Not that there was any bad jokes in the trash talk. It was the fact that it was the most 8-year-old trash talking. It was like, you're mine. Or you're done. What is that? What is that? I just think that was really weird. Or not weird. I just think that's really not well thought out for the jokes. And it's just like Marvel trash talk. Like, I think that was kind of like the Marvel trash talk, because, like, mind you, they made the 2 Spider-Mans and were making, and Spider-Man 3 was going to release when this movie came out. Like, so they're going from Spider-Man jokes to these, like, not really, Ghost Rider-esque. But I really enjoyed the dialogue, or dialogues, between Johnny Blaze and Carter Spade. When first dialogues is when Johnny first meets Carter, or the guy at the graveyard, and they're talking, and Carter explains some backstory about Ghost Riders and all this, and so then Johnny leaves, does what he does, goes to jail because of the stuff that happened the night prior, and just kind of like gets chased by cops, goes on top of a bridge, right? I found this really funny because I never noticed it the first time I ever watched the movie, but he jumps, like, I noticed he jumps in a river or whatever, and then I never noticed he flipped off the police. I think that was kind of funny, just to add in. To be honest, I just thought that was pretty not unique, but like kind of funny as a comedy relief of the stressfulness that's going on in that scene. Yeah, I don't know. And then when Johnny and Carter, I like, the ride out scene when they're going to, forget the name of it, but where I keep forgetting his name, Deathheart or Blackheart, is. I really like the ride out scene. I think it was very connecting between the 2 Ghost Riders, the OG Ghost Rider and the new gen Ghost Rider. I think that was really connecting from them two. I liked when dialogue before Ghost Rider went, the new gen Ghost Rider went in, Carter Spade goes, some like, I had one last, transition into Ghost Rider, and I've been waiting for this moment to use it, hands him his gun and dips and just disappears. I think that was a really good way to end off Carter Spade in the movie, because I feel like Carter Spade was a really good add-on for Johnny Blaze in the movie. I think he was a really good mentor, you could say, for him. Yeah, and then I think it was cool for Carter Spade to also, give him background, give him, some warning on what the devil intends to do and what, Blackheart intends to do. But moving on to the next segment, I think Stuart the News filmer, right? I think he was a unique character. He had nothing towards the plot, besides being the filmer for the news. But I think it was really good comic relief because he was actually kind of funny, not gonna lie. I like the inclusion of Johnny Blaze reading books to more educate himself on demons and angels. I think it also gives more to the movie and his character, because he just doesn't understand what's going on when he first turns into the Ghost Rider. Like, he talks to Carter, and then he gets wondering, like, I have all these books, let me finally read them and read more of them. He reads them and reads something about, oh, give me the power, lifts his hand up, flames. And I think that was a really good addition on trying to let Johnny understand the full aspect of what being a Ghost Rider, and pretty much kind of like a demon-ish. He's not a demon, but a spirit of something means. I think just the understanding of the demons that he's going to go against, and what understanding of the background behind all these spiritual things makes it, kind of interesting to see the growth of what makes him want to stay as the Ghost Rider. Yeah. And then moving on to the villains, which is the last segment of this, and then I'll go on to my final rating. The villains are low-key butt. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't really enjoy the villains. The water guy was kind of weird. Dirt guy was kind of weird. It was just, I didn't really dig it. And I feel like the water guy died so easily, which makes sense because he evaporated because of the heat or whatever. But I feel like in the movie, they just tried so hard to get rid of the side villains to get to Blackheart. And I don't know. I feel like they're trying to build something with the side villains and it just didn't stick because they just killed them off so quick. But yeah, my opinion on Blackheart, I didn't really know much about him. I heard him from multiple different videos I've watched throughout the years, but I never knew his background. I still don't really know much about him. I think it's a good character. I think it's a good villain and antagonist. In the movie, I didn't really like the acting, which just some foreshadowing for my ratings. I didn't like the acting for Blackheart. I think the actor that does Blackheart's a great actor. Liked him in Yellowstone, liked him in Interstellar. I didn't like the acting. But that does take away the aspect of the villain he is, because he was trying to hurt others and all that. So I think it was a good villain for Ghost Rider and the first film. But yeah, those are my main takeaways from the movie. But moving on to my rating. My rating for the film, I'm honestly 6.5, maybe 7 out of 10, maybe lower to like a 5. I like the film. I like the actors in the film. It's just the acting, I don't know. Some parts were iffy, some parts weren't iffy. It just didn't. I love the film. I don't think it stuck for what it was. The plot just kind of sometimes was all over the place, especially my main takeaway of the beginning of the film. That's what kind of irks me, is like, you gave him a love interest at the beginning of the film, kind of tried to introduce her and then didn't do it in a proper way. So it was kind of irritating. Wish for like someone else watching it could have seen more of it. But I couldn't because they didn't put it in the film. But yeah, I think it's close to a 5 to 6.5 out of 10 in my opinion. I don't know. Not a great film for me. I'm excited to see what they do with Ghost Rider and Ryan Gosling. But yeah, that's my review on 2007 Ghost Rider. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm gonna do a lot more content about what I like and enjoy. I always do video games. I always do all these sometimes I do reacts, blah blah blah. But we're switching around. If you can't tell, I'm kind of a nerd, so we're gonna do Marvel, DC, all these such things. Hopefully you guys enjoy the videos that are gonna come out. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm gonna be posting a lot more here soon, every Thursday to Friday. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Like, subscribe, comment, shared. Comment down below on what your takeaways of the film is, and I will respond to you. So yeah, hope you guys have a great day.